Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Mataji, let us pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Hare Krishna. Let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jyotirayet. नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवती सेवया भगवती उत्तमाश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, Chapter 16, verse 39. कामधियस्त्वयि रचिता न परमरोहन्ति यथा करम्भा बीजानि ज्ञानात्मनि अगुणमयि गुणगणतो अस्या द्वन्द्वजालानि. Anyone wants to recite? Go ahead, Mataji. Madhumay Krishna Kant.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kamadiyastvai rachita na paramarohanti yata karam bhavijani jnanatmani agunamaye gunaganato asya द्वंद्व जालानी. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna, thank you. Venkat Narasimha Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Kamadhiyastvai rachita na paramarohanti yada pakarambha bijani gnanatmanya gunamaye gunaganatosya dvandva jalani. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Revati Ratnangi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kamadiyasthavi rachita na param rohinti yata karam bhajani jnanatmanya gunamaye gunagunato asye truttanjalani. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chitramohini Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji.
Om
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kamadiyastvai rachita na param rohanti yata karam bijani jnanatmana gunamaye gunaganato asya dvandva jalani. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you Mataji.
Thank you. Surya Prakash Rao Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranamalu.
Wonderful.
कामादियस्त्वयि कविरचिता न परमरोहन्ति यथा करं बभीजानि ज्ञानात्मन्यगुणमये गुणगणातोऽस्य द्वन्द्वजालानि. हरे कृष्ण माता.
Thank you. Pranani Madhvi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranam Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kamadhyastvai rachita na paramarohanti yatha karma bhavijanihi janantamanya agunamayi gunaganato asya dvanda jalani. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you Mataji.
Thank you. Madhumati Lasni Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी.
Thank you.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. कामाधियस्त्यै रचिता न परम रोहन्ति यथा करम बीजानि ज्ञानात्मन्य गुणमय गुणगणोतो अस्य द्वन्द्वजालानि. थैंक यू माताजी. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Usha Devati Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kamadiyastvai rachita na paramarohanti yata karamba bijani jnanatmani agunamaya maye guna gunata asya dvanda jalani. Thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prem Prakash Haridas Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, let us pranam Mataji.
Pranam.
कामादियस्य रचिता न परम रोहन्ति यथा करम बिजानि ज्ञानात्मय गुणमये गुण गणतो अस्य द्वदजालानि. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Thank you. Uma Kulkarni Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. कामादियस्त्वयि रचिता न परमारोहन्ति यथा करम्ब बीजानि नानात्मनः गुणैमये गुणगणोत्तस्य द्वन्द्वजालानि. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Kamadhiya desires for sense gratification. Tvai in you. Rachita performed. Na not. Parama, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rohanti do grow, produce their other bodies. Yatha just as. Karambha bijani sterilize or fired seeds. Jnana Atmani in you whose existence is in full knowledge. Agunamayi who is not affected by the material qualities. Guna Ganataha from the material qualities. Asya of a person, Dvanda Jalani, the networks of duality. Translation by Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. O Supreme Lord, if persons obsessed with material desires for sense gratification through material opulence worship you, who are the source of all knowledge and are transcendental to material qualities, they are not subject to material rebirth, just as sterilized or fried seeds do not produce plants. Living entities are subjected to the repetition of birth and death because they are conditioned by material nature. But since you are transcendental, one who is inclined to associate with you in transcendence escapes the conditions of material nature. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purport by Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter verse 9, wherein the Lord says, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tyakta deham punarjanma neti mam eti. So Arjuna, one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. If one simply engages in Krishna consciousness to understand Krishna, he surely becomes immune to the process of repeated birth and death. As clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita, Tyaktya deham punarjanma naiti. Such a person, simply by engaging in Krishna consciousness or understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, becomes quite fit to return home back to Godhead. Even those who are obsessed with material desires may also come to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead so steadily that they go back to Godhead. The fact is that if one comes to Krishna consciousness, although he may have many material desires, he becomes increasingly attached to the lotus feet of Krishna through associating with the Supreme Lord by chanting his holy name. The Lord and his holy name are identical. Thus, he becomes uninterested in attachment to material enjoyment. The perfection of life is to be uninterested in material enjoyment and interested in Krishna. If one comes to Krishna consciousness somehow or other, even for material gain, the result is that he will be liberated. Kamat, Dveshat, Bhayat, Snehat. Whether for the satisfaction of material desires, because of the influence of envy, because of fear, because of affection, or because of any other reason. If one comes to Krishna, his life is successful. Om Adyan Timirandasya Gyan Anjan Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Gadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinvandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Gandha Namastute. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanu Ste Devi Pranamami Hari Pre. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमः ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. O Supreme Lord, if persons obsessed with material desires for sense gratification through material opulence worship you, who are the source of all knowledge and are transcendental to material qualities, they are not subject to material rebirth, just as sterilized or fried seeds do not produce plants. Living entities are subjected to the repetition of birth and death because they are conditioned by material nature. But since you are transcendental, one who is inclined to associate with you in transcendence, escapes the conditions of material nature. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, prescribed duties for the mankind, chapter number 16, which is called as King Chitraketu.
Meets the Supreme Lord.
He's the Supreme Lord. So in this particular verse, one very interesting thing which I find is that Prabhupada is writing in the purport that Kama, Dveshat, Bhayat, Snehat, come to Krishna out of material desires, Dvesha, envy, or Bhayat because of fear, or Snehat because of affection, or because of any other reason. If one comes to Krishna, his life is successful. That's the verdict, right? And here, translation to the prayer that Chitraketu is offering to Anantashesh is if persons obsessed with material desires for sense gratification through material opulence worship you, who are the source of all knowledge, are transcendent and are transcendental material qualities, they are not subjected to material rebirth. So if we recall, what was Chitraketu's initial intention? Like Angira Rishi, like what was his initial? Was he asking for pure devotional service when Angira Rishi asked him, why are you upset? What was his initial intent? That he wanted a
Son, actually, he wanted a son.
he wanted a son. What was the reason to need a son? What was the reason? So that
to perform oblations to the
for fathers,
for
yes,
fathers
and
and for him also
yeah, and then the kingdom to run, right?
and run. Yes.
So that are those material desires or spiritual desires?
Material.
Material
As
desire.
long as they are not in service to Krishna, it is material. If it is in service to Krishna, let me have a son who will become a devotee of Krishna, and then it is not material. Okay, so it was not spiritual at the time, and now this is same Chitraketu who had actually approached Gira Rishi or a pure devotee with this particular desire. Same Chitraketu. Now, what is his situation? Are we validating what we are reading here? Is he walking the talk? Yes or no? Is he an example of what this prayer is about?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
So this is very encouraging, okay? Because what happens is that if we simply give instruction and we don't set an example, then it does not have that deep of an impact. Here we can see that he's walking the talk. No more material birth, right? No, because it becomes immune. Somehow or other approach Krishna, for whatever reason, because he approached Krishna, because tried to understand who Krishna is, and because express Krishna the desires that they have. Krishna is beyond all these material modes of nature. He's transcendental, right? He's in that transcendence of fourth dimension. So he purifies everyone. This is a very big reassurance. Okay, there is no second person who can give this reassurance in the entire scriptures that we study. Nobody else. Right? Yesterday you must have studied that how the worshipper of the demigod is not the most intelligent. Worshipper of the demigod. Not that we are not respecting. Prabhupada say we respect, but we don't worship. All right, we don't disrespect. We respect them to the utmost ability as a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as an officer appointed by Krishna. But worship is different. So worshipper of a demigod is not very intelligent because the demigods are not permanent and the boons they give are not permanent. When there's something more permanent available, go there. So there is no second option left in the entire creation than to become a Krishna conscious person, because that gives the full security from up, down, all 10 directions. A soul becomes secure, right? In the material nature, the soul in the material body, the body is covered or is in the middle of 10 directions, right? Prabhupada explains up, down, two sideways, then four corners in x-axis and y-axis. So that makes it 10 directions. So the body that we are moving on the time factor, past, present, and future, we get the full protection from all over the movements in this material world if we become Krishna conscious. And Krishna is so kind that he has not set very hard, fast rule that you can only come to me once you become a pure devotee. So that is what we learn from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that anyone can approach Krishna. Krishna is quite accessible. Even Prabhupada explains, and even Shastakam explains, right, that anyone can approach. I will study today, Niyamate Smarane Nakala. There is no rule and regulations. Anyone can approach. Provided one approaches, we have to make that movement. And that movement can be from any platform. The point is that one has to become serious eventually. You know, because of this preaching experience, because of the mercy of Namanishta Prabhu, I have never met most of the people that we speak online too, but I have had the experience of life. Once I was at the end of the 18-day sessions, I asked that I know some of you have been coming here for many sessions, like many 18 days. So tell me anything that has transformed for you in your life. So there was this person who had joined from Australia. He said that he was working as a chef in a restaurant. I still don't know how this person looks. He was working as a chef in the restaurant, and he would, he started chanting Hare Krishna, slowly chanting Hare Krishna, and then slowly jumped up to 16 rounds. And then he said, when I would go to work, I have to offer them different varieties of meat and tell them the delicacies and different ways of preparations, because I'm the chef, right? What should you be eating today? He said he couldn't do it anymore. And he left his job. He left his job as a chef. So that time he was jobless. I'm sure Krishna must have given utmost protection. He couldn't do it anymore. You know, you take training to go to school, a culinary school, and then to become to cook for different cuisines. You start your career as a cook, assistant cook, then chef. It's a long journey. And then the whole restaurant menu depends on you. The whole team depends on you. And then you just leave because you can't do it anymore. Why? Because you're chanting Hare Krishna. It's not that he can't leave chanting Hare Krishna. No, he wants to keep chanting Hare Krishna, but he can't do what he was doing before. This is amazing. You know, that version existed, and this is like apparent growth. The soul becomes so empowered to take such drastic decisions. These are very big decisions in life, in just leaving the job because I'm chanting Hare Krishna and I can't be doing this. The soul becomes empowered. The super soul gives so much protection. So that's what I'm saying, that this kind of intelligence and protection can only be have from chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other process. There is no other name. There is no other personality who can give us so much of empowerment that come to me and you will be fine. Okay, so the agenda is that somehow or other try to become Krishna conscious, no matter even if one is not pure. Actually, Srimad Bhagavatam, many devotees who come to Krishna initially, they are not pure. They're ordinary. I'm not saying that they're as ordinary as we are, but they're like, the heart is inflicted by one of the or many of the six enemies. Right? Give me some examples. We can see Dhritarashtra from first canto. He had to go through so much, and ultimately, because of the attachment, right? Sneha, because of the attachment, but ultimately, because of Vidur, he understood. We can see that Dhruva Maharaj, it was anger, frustration, or maybe a bit of envy, which brought him to Krishna, right? And then again, when he was angry at the death of his brother by Yaksha, how he was showing. Like that, we think of canto to canto to canto. These devotees, their lives are so much transformed, and Krishna gave them eternal protection. And they are able to make drastic moves in their life because of the strength of chanting the holy name. So, how do we know that my chanting is empowering my life or is pure at a pure level? Is what transformative changes have happened? Is it still mechanical, or is there empowerment that's happening in my life at a subtle level, and that subtlety becomes very apparent at a later date? The subtle chanting will never remain subtle. Chanting is like, it's like it's, maybe this is not a good example, but I try to give a good example. I was thinking of a disease which like starts very slow but then becomes very big and announces its presence. That's not, maybe that's not a very good analogy. So chanting is like, okay, I'm chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but it will not remain silent in our lives. It will make a loud noise, and there will be so many shifts which will happen from within us and then from outside of us. The life direction will change. It's like a detour. Okay, the whole direction will change, and everything will align towards going to Krishna, because that's what the chanting is like. The direction is, connection is there. Material sounds binds to the material world, spiritual sounds turns us towards the spiritual world. So and it gives more empowerment. The more you chant, the more you associate with devotees, the more you stay strong in your own chanting, the empowerment only grows. Empowerment does not go down. That's how it is, because what is that thing, the more we do it, the more we get attached to it. We don't get tired. That's spiritual. Material, we get tired. We get tired of our responsibilities. We get tired of our roles. We get tired of our jobs, tired of so many things. But here we get more and more taste, right? More and more happiness. So it is a very good thing, very important transformation that one needs to go through. Otherwise, one is not even in the human form of life. May look like human, but the actions are not human. So namesake human. This was in the last verse, right? Yesterday, Dvipad Pashu or Nara Pashu. So look like human, but the actions are not human. So try to safeguard. We must try to safeguard. If I'm in a human form of life, why I must not chant? There is no reason. But there is every reason why I must chant. So choose it wisely and become more attached to Supreme Personality of Godhead in whatever state of mind one may be, in whatever stage of life one may be, because the reassurance, the warranty is so nice. It's so strong. Okay, and as devotees, I think I also learned one thing, that we must not try to judge the other person, that this person is chanting Hare Krishna, but they are so materially inclined, they have so many desires. Fine. Become like a Paramhansa, try to pick up the best out of them that are chanting Hare Krishna. What happens is, in the temples, I've seen it time and again, that this goes along like, oh, this person is the devotee, this person is maybe a devotee, this person is full of material desires. Oh, if they have material desires, why to come to Krishna? So you see, all these subtleties are impurities within us. The fact that Sukhdev Goswami is telling us is that this person is exemplary because this person has approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead by some way or other. Now it is between Krishna, Guru, and the soul. So let us not judge, because this is one of the offenses of the holy name. Right? Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada explains in this, the offense of the holy name. It's like, inattentive chanting, and also offenses to other living entities, and also offenses to our own self. So we have to avoid all these kinds of offenses. Do not offend anyone, because we are all stuck here. We're all stuck here. Somebody is stuck in A class jail, somebody is stuck in B class jail, somebody is stuck in C class jail. Prabhupada says, but jail is jail. You have to get out. I think I'll stop here. Any questions?